If you are a content creator, you absolutely need to make a business plan for 2024. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. Hey guys, I'm Hey Kelsey J. I am a photographer, model, and content creator, and I am here to show you guys how to do what you love for a living too. So let's dive on into today's video. A few years ago, I sat down and created my own business planning deck to plan out my year for my business and my goals and my brand guidelines. And I've been using it now every single year since, and it is honestly probably the number one most helpful thing I have done in my business. And since it is the beginning of the year again and my first YouTube video of 2024, I thought it would be fun to share this document publicly for the first time so that you can copy it, you can steal my ideas and create this own plan for yourself. I get a lot of people don't really like New Year's resolutions anymore, but if you are trying to take being a content creator seriously or as a photographer and starting a freelance photography business, you really do need to have a business plan. And I think goals are important, not just because you want to reach them, of course you want to reach them, but even if you don't, it helps you track your progress and make sure that you're on the right track and you can see how far you've come in a year or 2 years or 3 years or a month or a week, whatever it is, and you can celebrate that progress. As we get started, I recommend pausing this video, opening up a blank Google Slides presentation, and that way as we go, you can actually type out what I'm doing and you can steal my template and my format for yourself. Let's dive on in. Gotta go get my laptop. BRB. Okay, let's do it. First off, caveat about this deck, it is very bare bones. I did not make this thing pretty because I didn't want having to make it look really aesthetically pleasing and taking the time to do that to prevent me from getting this down in a deck for myself and making sure all the information was there. I just didn't want that to be a roadblock. So yes, this deck is ugly and there's nothing to it. You can absolutely make this prettier yourself. If this was going to a client or public facing, yes, I'd probably drop this in Canva and make it look nicer. But since this has just been for my eyes until today, that's why it's ugly, so please don't make fun of me. Title slide, it is yes, my handle and the year. These are actually my words for the year: focus, execute consistently, cut the rest. I change my little sub header each year based on what I'm feeling like the energy I need for the year. This slide, you can actually read my brand guidelines for the year. It usually stays pretty similar each year, but I break down the exact ideas of what my brand stands for. And why I do this is not only is it helpful to know what your brand is, it's a really helpful exercise to know how to talk to your brand, both to your audience and to prospective clients or current clients. So that's why I do this exercise each year, is to understand really what it is, what I'm doing, and it does change slightly each year, my niche and my branding. So that's what I write here, and it's also helpful to know what does not fit in my brand. So when I go out for the year and I make a piece of content that maybe I really enjoy personally, but doesn't level up to my brand, or maybe I'm slipping back into my Wander Babe travel days, if I go back and look at this slide and it does not fit in any of these categories, then I know not to post it. So this also actually helps keep my content consistent. So write out what your brand's about, what it's not about, your keywords, your core words for your brand, and that's where this goes in this slide. This is actually my mood board for the year. No one's really seen this yet, so I hope you guys like it. We're here for the vibes, the mood, the aesthetic. I would just make your own mood board. I actually made this mood board in Canva. I go on Pinterest and Instagram, screenshot the photos, drop it into Canva, put it all together easily on there, and then I screenshot that and put it into my Google Slides. But just make a mood board of the photos and the kinds of content you want to make for the year. I find this really helpful every year. If I am just stumped and I'm out of creative ideas for shoots, I always go back and reference these boards I make, and I always come up with new ideas based on the board. So I think they are super helpful to have. I write out some shoot ideas here for the same reason as the mood board, just to make sure I have some ideas always in my back pocket. If I ever want to create something cool or want to present a cool idea to a client, I just keep a running list of ideas that I can always look back on. Content calendar. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys are gonna notice that I did delete some stuff in my slide. I just want to keep some surprises for the year and some goals to myself. I'm not ready to share everything with the world just yet, but I actually create a content calendar and drop the ideas I want to do for the year throughout the year. And I also put seasonal content in here. So like February, Valentine's Day, and then in January, I'm thinking about what do I want to do for my Valentine's Day shoot, or my birthday's in March. So then I see that it's going to be in March, and in February, I'm planning out that shoot. So yeah, that's why I have a content calendar. It's super helpful. Instagram goals. I actually left these on here so you can see my goals are for the year, and you guys can keep me honest if I achieve them. So I write out goals, and I want to make them really easy to understand. And that's why it's really helpful to have numbers behind them or something specific behind them. So yes, I want to reach 500,000 followers, and that does seem like a big goal for me, but I'm putting that number out there so that I can try to reach it. And then I also want an output goal that I actually have more control over than if the algorithm favors me this year, you know, who knows. So I want to post 250 high quality reels. That's a goal that I know I can reach if I really put my mind to it, versus other goals that, you know, there's other things that are happening there with the Instagram algorithm gods and all those kind of things. Because Instagram is my primary platform, I really drill down the Instagram section of this deck. So then I write out exactly what Instagram posts are going to be, what kind of photo shoots I'm doing for them, the format, the kind of carousel format, that kind of stuff. So you'll see my goals right here. Drill down as much as you want. I also have a reel strategy you'll see here. This is just the kind of content, what fits in my reels, what isn't gonna fit in my reels this year, what that's gonna look like, how I'm gonna film those, how I'm gonna make that easier on myself, how many reels I'm posting. That all goes into this slide. And then we get into YouTube, and you can break this down however you want in terms of the social channels that you have, that you focus on. Obviously YouTube is a big priority for me this year while I'm filming this video. I go deep into my YouTube branding because it is a new channel for me. I want to have a really good sense of what it's about. So I go into exactly what my YouTube is for and what it is not for and what I'm creating here in this slide. Do this however you want, but you have the example here. And then I have my YouTube strategy. So we have a branding slide, then we have a strategy slide. So branding is like what this is about. Strategy is how I'm actually going to create that content and how I'm going to grow on my YouTube channel. So again, I have my subscriber goals, and then I have my output goals. So the amount of content I'm creating that I actually can control. Then we go on TikTok. You can kind of see a little sneak peek here, but put out whatever TikTok goals you want. Threads, if you want to do that. Other social platforms you may care about. E-newsletter, you know, I should talk about this in a completely other video, but I do think e-newsletters are incredibly important because we don't control social media platforms. The companies control that, but we have more control over a mailing list with emails. So e-newsletters are gonna be a big goal of mine this year. So this is in the deck, and you guys might want to think about it for yourself. Goal brand partnerships. I did take mine off of here because it is a bit of a secret, but normally what I do is I search the logos of the companies I wanna work for this year and that I wanna pitch, and then I download their logos and I just drop them into this slide so that I can see them all in one place. And if I'm ever feeling like I'm not pitching the right clients or not focusing on content that I think would entice the right clients to work with me, I check my goal of brand partnerships and make sure that I'm on the right track. Client offerings, I just kind of write down just so I have a good understanding myself of what I can offer to clients, because at this point it is a lot of different services. I think originally I did a dump here to put into my media kit, but I think sometimes it's helpful to look back on when you're on that client call and you're starting to forget what you're saying and you need to pitch them. It's helpful to have it here. Digital products. I didn't write down what digital products I'm planning because they're a surprise, but this is also a major priority for my year. And if you have a decent sized following, or even just a small following, you might want to consider starting to think about launching some digital products. Maybe you want to release one this year. It is a good source of passive income that, once again, you control and you're not hoping that a brand's going to pay you for. And then at the end of the deck, I break down my goals based on quarters and what quarter that I'm going to focus on those goals. I break it down to Q1, Q2, and you'll see I have business, travel, and personal, but you can do whatever kind of goals you want here. It's totally up to you. Q3, Q4, and then at the end of each quarter, I'll go through and highlight the ones that I've done in green, any that I'm working on in yellow, and then anything that would end up highlighted in red, I usually actually push to the next quarter to make sure it stays on my radar. And so what usually happens realistically is I have a bunch of goals for Q1, I see how far I've gotten on those, and then I space them out to Q2. Or with product launches, you know, for me, I know I probably want to try to launch a product every quarter. So then I write out what those product launches are going to be for each quarter. With outfit goals, you know, if I wanted to make 250 shorts in a year, math is hard, but I would divide that by 4 and I'll put those in each quarter so that I can just see if I'm hitting those quarterly goals. That's all this is for. This is what I probably reference most in the deck and I find to actually be the most important. So break down your goals quarterly. You heard it here, folks. Okay. Revenue goals and savings goals. So I write down how much I want to make for the year. I'm sorry, once again, I'm not sharing it. And then what I think is so important is to break down what that looks like per quarter and per month. That way each month you can track to see if you're hitting your revenue goals, and if not, you can try to pitch brands, push your digital products, do whatever you need to do to make that money. And then of course I put down my results, and then I think it's actually really important to have savings goals. Hot take, I see a lot of people in this business make a lot of money, but they're also investing so much of that money and spending it on crazy trips and travel and photo shoots and cool fancy cars and like whatever else they want. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and yes, I believe that you need to spend money to make money and you have to reinvest in your business, but I really think to have a stable financial future and to become financially independent, you have to save money too. So I also put savings goals down, and I think that is so important to also have savings goals, because if you make $500,000 but you spend $500,000, you're ending the year at net zero, and that's not what we want. So I also put down my savings goals and how much I need to save per quarter, per month. You know, you could even break that down to per day, because then it's not going to seem as scary. And maybe that's just saving $20 a day. But it is so important to have that goal to see if you are saving money, not just making money. Okay, and that is it. That's actually the full deck. I know that it doesn't seem that long, but usually putting this together takes me at least a half day. If you haven't done a branding exercise like this before, probably even a full day. I'd already done a lot of my planning for the year ahead of time, so this was easier to do this year, but it does take some time. So I recommend blocking off an entire day. You're not making other content, you're not taking any client calls. Usually I even end up doing it on a weekend and just telling people I'm busy so that I don't feel like I need to check my phone for clients or Instagram or whatever it is. I really hope this is helpful. I hope you can put this together soon, or even if you need to do it halfway through the year, you can do that and just do a 6-month plan. Whenever you see this video, you can save it for 2025, whatever it is. I just hope that eventually that you're able to make that plan and take the time, because it is so worth it. And then the hardest part of all that everyone seems to miss, set calendar reminders on your phone to alert you to go back and check every single quarter and month to make sure that you are getting this stuff done. And I promise you, you're going to get farther this year than you ever thought you could. Cheesy, I know, but I actually believe that for you guys. All right, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm sorry I sounded like a motivational speaker this week. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit subscribe for more helpful informational videos like this one for content creators. Gonna be pumping them out a lot more this year. It says so in my deck, so I have to do it. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.